Hello, as you can see, there is no zodiac signs, there is no pick a card. This message will find you whenever it is supposed to find you. There is a card that just fell. Let me see what that was. Alright, the card that fell was the World. So you have the World out first. Judgment and the Three of Swords. You might be moving, or the universe is like preparing you for a move. You have the Emperor. Okay, this is what I feel like. You were like on the last couple days of this is like a chapter that you've been dealing with, but it doesn't just feel like a chapter, it feels like a graduation. You are graduating from a cycle. Now, this is a cycle that has completely run its course. So usually when you deal with cycles, and especially when you are at the point of graduating a cycle, there's many different forms that the cycle has taken on. It could have literally started in childhood and then progressed through friendships, through family members, through situationships, through relationships, through partners in general. It can be work related or platonic or romantic, but when you're dealing with the cycle, it's not just one person. It didn't just start with one person. Usually it started as a wound in your childhood, and that is how you created that cycle with the person on again, off again, on again, off again. But there's the whole cycle, the whole wound, the whole thing is closing down. Okay, that is what this is. This is not just graduation, it is mastery. You have mastered it. So even if the universe were to send another person to see if you're still going to be in the cycle, you won't be. It's like that. 222. You have fully mastered it. You have fully integrated it. You have fully healed the wound that created those cycles over and over and over again in order to heal that wound. There is no other person that's going to trigger that cycle. You have fully dealt with it. Okay, this is mastery of it. It's almost like there's no point in testing you. There's no point in any of that. That cycle fully is done with. And with the Three of Swords being here, this is really a cycle. This is the type of cycle that you prayed to have end. Okay, especially next to the World card, it's like you prayed for this cycle to end many times over with many different people. This is not just from one person or from one painful relationship or one painful partnership. This was from multiple people. You prayed that please let this end. You don't ever want to feel this way again. Why is it like this again? Can you please just have something different? So in the ends, usually when you are in the last phase of a cycle, you start to like really awaken to it and realize this is weird. Why do you always end up feeling this way? Why, no matter what you do, you always end up feeling that specific way? Why? And like that realization and that awakening to the fact that you have felt that way so many times before, that it truly feels like a sense of defeat. Like, how are you feeling that way again? That sense right there, that is the awakening of that energy. That's your body starting to process that emotion in a different way, and your eyes are starting to view it from a different lens by having that awakening. So usually that happens, and then it might continue on a little bit, and you might even start to get hope that that time is the last time, and then that time is the last time, and then that time is the last time, and you might even feel happier and be like, okay, thank goodness you didn't feel that way anymore. And then you might feel residue of that energy. Okay, that's how that cycle is completely closing out. That is how you know you've dealt with a lifelong cycle, a life wound that has healed. All right, so big congratulations on that, Judgment. Truly a big congratulations on that, because usually these type of wounds, they don't just form out of nowhere. Okay, it is like, it's very karmic, it's very it happens in childhood, and it's ingrained deep into the subconscious, and it doesn't sometimes just take one lifetime to heal these wounds. And sometimes it's generational, sometimes it gets passed down to the next generation and the next generation and so forth. And it looks like this cycle has caused you an immense amount of suffering with the 9 of Swords and the 3 of Swords, because there was also a sense of awareness here. You were aware that something isn't right. You were aware that you were dealing with something that wasn't just something normal to deal with. It wasn't just normal type of heartbreak, a normal type of anxiety. This was a level of pain that wasn't normal, and you could logically see that. You could logically see that the way that you were feeling about the situation and the way that these situations were playing out, there was something bigger involved. And you're right, this was very karmic and very like deeply ingrained in you. So huge congratulations to you for being able to close out that cycle, because it does take a lot. It's not easy to break cycles like that. And even the most enlightened people in the world, even they deal with the biggest cycles. Okay, so like for example, like if there's any type of like spiritual gurus or stuff like that you're looking up to, know that these people are fighting battles. Okay, yes, they are as wise as they are because they have overcome as much as they have. They have the advice that they do because they have most likely lived through it once or twice, or possibly through lifetimes. And just to say that they have mastered a couple things doesn't mean that they've mastered everything. Okay, someone could literally be dealing with something so big and like, for example, could be heartbroken. Okay, could be heartbroken and give the best advice on how to get over heartbreak while they're still heartbroken, while they're still fighting that battle. Because sometimes you know what to do, you know exactly what to do. Your knowing and your doing is just two completely different things. And also your doing is not immediate. Just how the wound wasn't created and also integrated that deeply and immediately, the same way it doesn't just immediately heal either. And that is what you're dealing with here. You have the 7 of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so I understand now why that is being brought up right now, because of the 7 of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. There's shade information around you. Okay, someone that either some people in your life or some individuals in your life have mastered some things, and even though they haven't mastered the things that you are trying to work through right now, or some specific things that you value, they've mastered like some things that you can take advice from, that you can take almost like inspiration from. Like for example, let's say you have a friend. Now this friend is not spiritual. This friend, you don't view this friend as on your path at all. You don't view this friend as like on a path of enlightenment or on a path of self-discovery or on a path of healing or nothing like that. You just view them as like a normal person, and this is just a metaphorical situation, and you just view them as like a completely normal person. Everything is fine, but they never let anyone walk all over them. Okay, that's the one thing that they never do. And they might have done bad things to you, they might have done so many things to you, but they never let anyone walk all over them. You know, something like that. Now, by observing that, you can take from that. You can be like, you can be this, and this, and this, but there's that one thing that you do that I really like. Now, situations like this is what's coming up for you right now, where it's like you are starting to really integrate the people. You are right here, and there's all of the people around you that you know and that you've ever met. Okay? You are starting to integrate in you, now because of this graduation, good qualities about these people and good things that you have observed. Okay, you just didn't have the time to fully process this because you were busy processing that big cycle. So now that you have all of this processing time, like look at it like this, like a computer. Okay, a computer was downloading a really big file, and the computer was like very slow, and it was taking so long to download this file. And the moment that that file is done downloading, all of a sudden everything else is just running quickly, processing. If you open it, the tab opens immediately. You open an app, the app opens immediately, like that. That is now what's happening to you. So it's going to feel like, whoa, how are you just all of a sudden like you're doing so much, like so much is changing within you, but it's not that so much is changing within you right now. Okay, it's that you didn't have the processing capacity. It was still loading. It was like the next file and the next file and the next file that was in the queue to process. It was in the queue. So some of the people that you have met, like you could have met someone with like insane amount of chemistry, insane amount of confidence, but it didn't work out between you and that person. It could have ended horrendously, but you still admire and still remember that great charisma. You still admire and still remember that great confidence, because there's a reason why you're still remembering it, even if it ended horrendously between the two of you. You never want to speak to that person again, and you never want to see them again or anything like that. It is because it is still a file that's about to process for you. So that is what's coming up for you right now, and it's just going to feel like everything is just happening at once. Whoa, like what are all of these things? Like, how are you mastering so many things at the same time is what it's going to feel like. But that is not what's happening. It's you have already clicked download on that. You have already observed that so deeply, and you've already analyzed that. So it is already happening. It's been already happening. Okay, so let's see the Three of Swords. This is really cool. 12, the Queen of Swords. Ooh. And the Knight of Swords. Okay, you're entering a stage right now where it's like a cold, almost like this cold, unapproachable, but deeply respected energy. Okay, it's like you're not walking around here a ray of sunlight for every human being on the planet, because not every human being on the planet, like, you just don't trust that openly anymore. You just do not. You're the type of person where it's like, if someone gets to know you, they get to know you. As simple as that. If they get to know you, they get to know you. If they don't want to get to know you, they are not going to know you. Okay, it's just like that. It's not like you're a bitch or you're cold-hearted or anything like that. It's just you're a book with a cover, and if someone wants to pick up the book and read a couple pages, they can. If not, that's their choice. Okay, so let's see the Seven of Cups. You're taking things way more, like, I feel like you're entering the stage where you have such thick skin that nothing is like penetrating you, nothing is getting too deep in. It's your skin is just too thick. It's just too thick for it. It's like you're exhausted from having to go through this big thing and that big thing and that big thing. It's exhausting. You're like, no, you've mastered. You're in your mastery era. You're in your integrating and downloading and processing era. You're not in your taking on new challenges and offering, like, for example, like, okay, let's say you're like a book and you're laying in front of someone. It's their choice if they want to open that book and read it. Never again are you, it's just not going to be personal for you. If someone doesn't want to open that book and get to know you, then that's their choice. Like, you move on. You're not going to beg someone to get to know the best thing that they'll know. You know, you're not going to do that. Like, those times are far behind you. Those times are so far behind you, it's an old file at this point. Okay, so it's like, it's their choice. It's nothing personal. Like, that's just the energy that you're in. There's also the Six of Pentacles. I actually know, I need to see the Nine of Swords before we conclude this message. Yeah, you're just in your stage of mastery. Ooh, the Death. I love that. I love that combination. And then you have the Devil. That cycle had you. That cycle had you in a bound. But what's really cool about it is you didn't just cut the ties. You didn't just, you extracted it from the root. That is also why it took so long. Because you understood and observed and analyzed the pain that you personally felt on such a mature level that you knew you never want this energy to even live anywhere near you, to even be in your future lives, or even be like, if you could, you would help your past lives with it. You wanted to extract that energy completely from its root, and that is what you did. That is what you did. Okay, you didn't just want to heal. You wanted to transform the wound. Not just heal it, not just patch it up, not just stitch it up even. You wanted to transform it. Like, for example, someone tattooing over a scar. You wanted to transform it. Okay, so this is your reading. I really hope that you enjoyed it. 222. Bye.